The Galax style of playing comes from the Galax part of Virginia, which is that tail, southwestern tail of Virginia that points over toward between North Carolina and Tennessee. And it's a particular tradition in the mountain dulcimer world. This one is this has been built by Ben Seymour of kudzu patch dulcimers, and he built it off the Jacob Ray Melton family pattern. And it has several typical features. It's shaped like a boat. It has these different kind of sound holes in the soundboard, and there's holes that go right through the fretboard as well. If you tip it sideways, you can see it has a double back. So the part that's laying on my knees or my legs is not the part that's the back of the dulcimer. It's a lot deeper as a dulcimer. The fretboard is pretty far raised off the body. In the more traditional ones, this whole piece would be one hunk of wood. But I don't know if it was Jacob Ray or Ben that adjusted it so that this is now 3 pieces of wood, but it all goes together. This D-shaped finish down here, if you think of the letter D from our perspective looking over the top, it looks like a D, like you'd write your capital D, is a convenient hole for hanging it up on a wall if you'd want to do that. It's got the modified scroll head, and you'll notice there are 4 strings and they're equi-distant apart. And when I play them with a noter, which is the Galax style of playing, I cover 2 of those strings and the other 2 ring. And in the old traditional style, there would be staples under the first 2 frets, or under the first 2 strings, and no, well, where the frets are, there would be staples, and nothing on the bass strings, the other 2 strings. They're not really bass strings. They're all tuned to the high D that you would have in a DAD tuned dulcimer. So it's all high pitched. And I'm playing with a noter. This is one that was made by Don Newhouser. I don't know if you can see that overhead, but Don stamped his initials in the top there. It looks like a half rest or like a hat. And it just sits nicely so that my finger can actually slide along the side of the fretboard like this. And my second finger is my guide. I'm not even using my thumb, although I can use my thumb on the other side. And my first finger sits on top and provides just enough weight for this to skate up and down the fretboard. Because it's tuned to all Ds, if I start at 0, I get the mixed Lydian scale when I use the 6th fret. When I use 6.5, when I use the 6.5 fret, I get the Ionian scale, or the major scale we're used to. So that's kind of a quick interview to the Galax style playing. Oh, there's one other thing. In my other hand, for my pick, I'm using a feather quill. This is what it looked like when the turkey stopped using it. And if I was to sign the Declaration of Independence, I'd use that side, like my ancestor John Hancock did. But to be using it on the instrument, even though we've seen some pictures like this, the Galax style doesn't use that end. It says the business end is the other side. So all these feathers would get stripped off and this would get clipped, so it's just the right length so that you can fit it into your hand with the point going down. And now the first time I did it, I had it the other way, and I had to really tip my hand up to get it in there. And then I was doing it upside down. It goes the other way. And you're going back and forth. It's a very flexible kind of thing. Some people call this the egg stirring motion, as if you're beating eggs. Some people do their egg beating on the way in. Other people do their egg beating on the way out. I tend to be more of an outie rather than an innie. But what I'm doing is moving it all along, and it's really a strum action that's coming more from my elbow than my wrist. So I've got my arm kind of pointing down the length of the fretboard, and I'm doing this. Now the two